And in honor of Mental Health Month, please enjoy our delusional little friendship therapy session.
Now are we good?
Sound check. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to Season 1, Episode 7 of the Trigger Warning Podcast, and thank you all so much for tuning in. We are still in the month of May, being Mental Health Month, and if you were with us for the last episode, you saw the launch of our partnership with Aware Causes, and this partnership isn't just a one-time deal, so I'm going to go ahead and clip our partnership message in here. Just plugging in our partnership between Trigger Warning Podcast and Aware Causes, we have partnered with an incredibly unique small business called Aware Causes, and that's spelled out as AWARECAUSES, and that is also their Instagram handle and Instagram page. I can't even put into words how excited I am to partner with this company to provide our listeners and or watchers with the largest discount code they have to offer. That discount code is NOTALONE30. Again, that's NOTALONE30, all together with no caps, to receive 30% off your entire purchase. This business offers a unique variety of jewelry and apparel and a variety of colors to bring awareness to different causes. Visit their website, awarecauses.com. Again, that's AWARECAUSES.com. You will find an assortment of jewelry and apparel, which all have an upside down triangle, and that signifies infinite strength. 10% of the proceeds are donated to charities for mental health awareness and support. This jewelry is made with the highest quality material to ensure longevity, and I've had my bracelets and my ring for about 2 weeks now. I sleep with them on, I do dishes with them on, and I can attest there is absolutely no wear or tear on the jewelry that I have. While browsing their website, please be sure to check out their About Us tab and read through their background story. The variety of causes this company supports is exactly what led me to make my decision to partner with this company. This company fits our brand to a T, and their story speaks so loud to me. So again, head to their website. That's awarecauses.com. Enter our special discount code, NOTALONE30, NOTALONE30. to check out and receive 30% off your entire purchase. By purchasing from their website, not only will you be wearing things that symbolize bringing awareness to causes that are special to you, 10% of that money will be donated to those important causes as well. So if you've had any hesitations, this is your sign to make yourself a part of the awareness. Once you've purchased from their company and received your purchase, you can send them a photo of yourself with your purchase and share your story, and Aware Causes will post your story on their Instagram page. First of all, we are filming on Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to you, Tori, and to all the mothers out there that are listening. You're welcome. No matter what kind of mother you are, today is for you. Tori, how are you doing today? Any little cozy toaster baths taken lately?
Unfortunately, no toaster baths were taken, but I did get to sleep in until 9 a.m. today, which is like amazing. And it took the edge off of the depression, just a little. But my husbands and girls made me breakfast in bed, which is wonderful. And if you're a mom, you're like, oh, that's so sweet. But if you're like me, crazy, you're like, I can't eat a full meal right as soon as I wake up. I need to get out of bed and do 4 things before I do anything. So they brought me the tray. And then Ian's like, you're just going to come downstairs and eat, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah, 100%. So they tried. They also made me these cute little homemade cards. Ian got me this cup that says best mom ever, and it's hot pink, which that's so me. And I'm going to probably go outside and have a little drinky drink in the yard later while the girls play in the pool. But I'm just so happy because summer is so close. I can like feel the vitamin D making my seasonal depression slip away and my regular depression just sinking in, and I'm so excited.
Oh God, I love when that happens. I love when it's no longer seasonal and you don't have a season to blame it on. So it's just
Yeah.
back to clinical depression.
Yeah, it's like I'm sad today. That's normal. Thank you. Thank you, regular
Mhm.
depression.
Ooh, and it's sunny, so I I don't want to complain, but I gotta complain. I just feel like I've been jumping through hoops and falling on my face one too many times. I've considered slipping into a bathtub while blow drying my hair, on accident, of course. And I know everybody says it's going to get worse before it gets easier, right? Well, screw that. I don't need things to get any worse because I don't know where the easier is coming into play at this point. So F off, things are just hard, okay? And I wanted to bring this story up because I know you're really going to enjoy this because you know my family, you know my sister. So yesterday I was just digging in a bunch of shit that I haven't touched in years, especially since moving to where I live now. And I found this razor thing that my mother bought my sister and I and put in our stockings many years ago, probably when I lived across the street from you. And
Hmm.
it's this razor for women and nobody uses it and there's a reason why. So it's got blades, but it's not real razor blades. It's designed to actually pull the hairs from the pores. And so
Ew.
that it doesn't, yeah, so it does. So that doesn't sound good already, right? But it's supposed to prevent ingrown hairs. And because it's pulling from the pores, it's going to take longer for the hairs to grow back, right? So cool. It seems really cool. My mom bought it for both me and my sister. My sister has really thick, dark hair. So, of course, it shows up on her body really thick and dark and, on her sideburns. A lot of women who have dark hair struggle with that. So, my mom thought that this would be great for, the side of her face that she really struggled with and her legs and everything. And for me, just my legs because I have blonde hair. And so, the first time I used this thing, it is the most painful thing I have ever used to shave in my life. And when I tell you painful, I have, and I will die on this hill, I have the highest pain tolerance. I will literally do things to cause myself pain on purpose. Okay. So I have the highest pain tolerance. So I did not even get but one stroke done when I first received this thing, and I forgot to tell my mom all about it. So, my mom's been using this on my sister's goddamn face, and my sister, she was a little complainer about everything. Everything hurt, nothing worked right in her mind back then. And so my mom just was like, "You're just being a baby." And so I didn't know all of this was going on. So I bring this up to my mom later and I say, "Mom, this thing is the most painful thing." And I used it on my legs, not my face. "This is the most painful thing I have ever used to shave in my life." And she's like, "Oh, really?" And my sister looks at her and goes, "Yeah, Mom." And I bit
Oh
the
my
bullet.
God.
I bit the bullet yesterday and I'm like, this whole thing, really sounds like, regardless of the pain, it could be promising. So I bite through the pain. Eventually, my legs just go numb, and I do my full legs yesterday. And after that, I started noticing that the pores from the leg hairs, they were swollen all
No.
down both of my legs, and I lotioned them up afterwards and everything. And I knew that was going to happen. I knew it just because of the pain and the time that I did it the first time it did that. So, but today they've all gone down. And so I think it is a good idea, but if you can't, I tried it on my armpit and I was like, "Oh my God, okay, I cannot do that." So I think I'll probably do it on my legs here and there when I don't want it to grow back, but I still have to go over it with the razor a little bit. But I imagine it probably will take a while for the hairs to come back because it's literally ripping it from the pores of your legs. So
Yeah, no, thank you.
sorry to my sister for not speaking out about that sooner to my mom. And why my
I
mom
love
never
that.
tested it herself is beyond me, you know?
I'm sorry. I'm just picturing like every little girl when their mom is brushing their hair and you're like screaming because it hurts and they just don't care because that's how my mom was. And now as a mother, I'm like, I feel like I have to be really gentle, but then as soon as I get to brushing the hair, I'm like, "You're fine. Stop it." And that's just all I can think of when
And you know, that
your
was my
poor
sixth
sister.
that was my sister's experience every single day because she couldn't do her own hair because it's,
Mhm.
it's so thick and so curly. So that's where my mom got the idea that, you're a little cry. That's one of the reasons why my mom's like, you're just being a little crybaby because I do this with your hair every day and you cry about it. So take this pain
Mhm.
on your face for a minute and it'll be over soon. But no, that's really painful.
Your poor sister.
I know. Talk about trauma.
If you're listening, I'm so sorry, but this is
Mhm.
hilarious.
It is so funny, and she's gonna find this funny as well. She is a dedicated trigger warning podcast fan, so she is going to probably take this part, show it to my mom, just to remind her.
I really hope she does. That's great. I love it.
She's gonna.
Well, look at you just thriving in the face of adversity. You always bring your shovel to rock bottom, and that's one thing I love about you. But another thing is like I love that you just took charge of this episode because as we were talking before, I had my schedule completely messed up, had no clue when we were shooting. So this episode's all you. And thank you. Love you, Pookie, because I did not do much. And
Of
so appreciate
course,
you.
of course, princess, and I love you most. Yeah, like Tori said, we did have a topic for this week, and we were going to talk about finances and the impact that that has on mental health. And if you suffer with mental illness or psychiatric illnesses of any kind, even just daily basic tasks can be incredibly excruciating to accomplish more often than not. And living in a world without an income is impossible. And I have a feeling that no matter what state you live in or what country you live in, it's just as difficult to qualify for disability, regardless of whatever disability you're struggling with. And even qualifying for disability and living solely on that income in 2024 is also pretty impossible. And maybe these facts aren't as true for other countries outside the United States, but given my very little research, when it comes to disability and mental illness, I think we're all pretty much one and the same when it comes to struggling financially. And I have been working on the notes for this outline for this episode, and I'm going to be honest, it's been a rough last few weeks for me. Like I said, finding motivation and inspiration has been incredibly difficult. Usually, when I'm struggling on a topic or segment to discuss on our show, I put down the notes for a while, take my medication, depend on my trusty old sleep deprivation, just drop kick me, drag me into a hole of newfound inspiration suddenly between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. And then I find myself going off on a topic. So I've been working on this outline off and on throughout this entire week. And don't get me wrong, sleep deprivation didn't give up on me, but apparently my brain did. I guess it just dragged me into a 6-foot grave this time, and I haven't been able to dig back out. While working on that, I never had the opportunity to find the motivation and inspiration that I was lacking this week. And I don't really think my inability to pull myself together meant we were meant to have a solid structure for this episode. So I just want to have a disorganized episode and just freaking vent. However, May has been a pretty busy month for substance abuse and for the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, and I've received several updates and resources, some of which I will be sharing near the end of this episode. You can read more about these updates and find these resources on samhsa.gov. And if you want these updates at the tip of your fingers, scroll down to the bottom of the website and sign up for email updates, because these updates are just amazing if you want to know what's going on in the world and the government, or not in the world, but the United States with the government related to mental health. And at the end of this episode, we will pull ourselves back together somehow and provide some resources, guidance, and organizations with some great information related to financial struggles. Of course, the resources discussed will be linked in our Linktree document found on our website under the Resources tab by the time that this episode airs. And in honor of Mental Health Month, please enjoy our delusional little friendship therapy session.
When I did finally look at all of your emails in earnest and not just glance at them and be like, okay, she's doing wonderful, I noticed that the topic really did hit home with me because, as you know, I've been obtaining a new college degree, different one from what I've already had. And during the last 3 months, I've not been able to work due to the different constraints of this degree. So we've been getting by, but that's all we're doing. We are just getting by, and it's been a struggle. So I personally know the toll that finances can take on somebody's mental health. It's astronomical. Um, but I am gonna just talk again about my favorite podcast, Crime Junkie. At this point, I think I'm advertising them for free, but I love them so much. But the host of that show, Ashley Flowers, had posted a few things on Instagram this past week about moms and Mother's Day, and wanted moms to comment on this post along with their Venmo about some bills that could be paid for them or how they're struggling, whatever. So I'm like, what's it going to hurt? So I commented on these posts. And although Ashley Flowers herself did not do anything for me, some of the wonderful crime junkies did Venmo me. And I was so surprised. I I cried. It was like just little tiny things like, here's something for a cup of coffee, you deserve it. And it was so sweet. And looking back, I'm just like, once I'm done with schooling, I'm going to find some way to pay it forward, because even if it's just a tiny cup of coffee, that simple gesture made my whole week. And we've been really struggling lately with me not being able to work for pay. Um, so I just want our lunatics to know, keep doing nice things for other lunatics. It's small, but it's so mighty for everybody's mental health.
That is so amazing that I just felt instant warmth in the part of my heart that still has hope left in it. I'm so glad that they did that for you. That's so freaking cute and amazing. Like, not only like you post on there, to see if maybe you'd get something from your idols, and
Yeah.
the people who are fellow crime junkie fans took it upon themselves to find people to Venmo themselves. And that, wow, every day I'm still, when I find somebody who still has that kindness within them to do something for a stranger, I am reminded that there still are good people in this world. And just like you said, please keep being good people to other people, because you truly don't know what they're going through, and whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, or financially, something just as simple as a cup of coffee, because for you and me, a cup of coffee is
It's a lot.
is the only thing that gets us out of bed in the morning
Yes.
and able to start our day. So that warms my heart so much.
It was so sweet. I immediately was telling my husband, and he's like, "What? No way." I'm like, "Yeah." And it was, I mean, obviously it wasn't much, but it was just so sweet. It was the thought, and it was the kindest thing a stranger could have done.
Truly, truly. Well, I am absolutely, obviously still going through it with the sleep depression. Sleep depression. Yes, sleep depression. There you
That's
go.
what it is.
It literally feels like that's exactly what it is, but it's sleep deprivation. I still have hope that I'm going to find a cure because the medication that I'm currently on has been actually helping me fall asleep. It's just not helping me stay asleep consistently throughout the night, but that is more than what any medication I have tried for this has done thus far. When I wake up in the middle of the night, my body instantly shoots into panic mode, and it feels like I'm forgetting that I'm supposed to be doing something, or I'm just supposed to be doing something instead of laying down, when in fact, there is nothing I should be doing at 3 o'clock in the morning at all.
Oh.
So I couldn't tell you why this is happening, but it's over and over, and it's just incredibly exhausting. I have no idea if this is due to the lack of sleep I've gotten or if it's the new medication that I'm on, but my memory is also suffering. I lose my train of thought much more often than I ever have in my life. And I am no stranger to losing my train of thought, but this is a whole nother level. Like, I don't even think the train even arrives at the station before it completely departs from me. And I barely have a whole thought before it disappears into the depths of the unknown. And on top of this, there are whole ass conversations I have in my head, and I either believe that I've already had with someone, or I think I still need to have with somebody, like, oh yeah, I got to tell so and so about this. And it may not even be important things, like something, funny that happened to me, and I go run and tell Mike this long story that I've literally said to him already, word by word.
Yeah.
And I have no recollection of actually telling him, but I put, the whole story is in my head ready to tell him. And he's like, Selena, you already told me this. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I thought about it, didn't do it yet. He's like, you did it, because otherwise I wouldn't know about it already. So my perception of reality has been completely distorted lately, and I've always prided myself on how good my memory is. And don't get me wrong, there are still parts I can remember waking up in 2009 on a specific day and know exactly who I was with, what we did, etc. I think it's just my short-term memory that's suffering.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've both been a little off lately, like more than usual. Obviously, we're all a little off. But I was convinced we filmed last Sunday and we didn't. I have no clue where the time went, but I think I'm also losing my mind at a faster rate than normal. But I guess if we're spiraling out of control, it's best to do it with a friend. So, stable is a place for horses, and we should probably just live in a circus. Delulu is the Salulu. Let's just do it together. Let's spiral together.
100%, because all we're going to do is give the advice that neither of us would take ourselves.
No.
And or even think about taking ourselves, somewhere along this series of unfortunate events that has been my life, my skin decided that not a single freaking product was going to work for it. And all my life, but what I believed I dealt with was very stubborn acne starting in 5th grade and even
Mhm.
throughout adulthood. It hasn't been as severe as it used to be, but very frustrating nonetheless. And I've always said that it doesn't matter what makeup products you use, it's your skincare routine that will pave the way for how the makeup lays on your skin. And I have always been so, so strict about my skincare routine. Like, I even have tools that I if you don't know anything about skincare, I can't explain to you what they are, but they zap my face, and
Mhm.
professionals use these tools, and I have done so much research and put so much of my time into my skincare routine and finding what works for me that I consider myself a professional just without the certification at this point. And after many years of trial and error, I had my skin almost flourishing for a few years, and now I feel like I'm back to square one. And I've tested new products for the past few months. My makeup is literally sliding off my face. I'm using new moisturizer, new primers, new foundations, new powders. Nothing is fixing whatever problem arose from the dead within this last month. And I cannot I cannot get a grasp on it. This might seem like a minor inconvenience to some, but for me, this is huge. And I'm at the point where half a minor inconvenience will literally make me drive my car into a combine during harvest season.
I shouldn't laugh at that. But like honestly, a couple what weeks ago, probably more like a couple months ago, I should say, because it was a boss of mine, told me that as I was drinking Red Bull, that the ingredients could kill me. And my first reaction, words out of my mouth were, "Oh, thank God," to my boss. So I think he knows now that I'm hanging on by the thinnest of threads, but that's how we thrive. We
Mhm.
thrive by hanging on a thread. If we weren't hanging on by a thread, I don't think we would know what to do at
Mm-mm.
all.
No, because that's all we know how to do at this point. And that's really funny that you bring that up about the Red Bull thing because I literally just tweeted how many energy drinks is it going to take for me to finally keel over like everybody says
Mhm.
it's going to. Like nobody
Yeah.
gave me a response, but truly it's like the how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? How many energy drinks is it gonna take for me to keel over?
I actually tried to switch from Red Bull, and hear me out. I know it wasn't because of this comment. It was because it's expensive, okay? So I tried bubblers, and those are really good. I did not expect it, and they have caffeine. They're supposed to be better for you. So now I only have like one Red Bull a week to feed my addiction, and then the Italian hand. And then my bubblers. So
I've never
maybe I'm
even heard of
changing.
that, but I'm probably not gonna try it either way
No,
because I need Red Bull. I
I
don't drink them
understand.
every day, but if you get them from Aldi, guys, if you have an Aldi in your area, they're way cheaper. If your Aldi
Oh,
has them in stock, but ours, the one local to us, has them in stock. So I get mine
oh.
from there, and they're like a whole dollar something off.
Okay, so I need to do that because I was at the point I knocked it down, but I was at 2 to 3 Red Bulls a day. I know it's not healthy. So then I
I
knocked it
did
down to
that
1 a
once too.
day. Yeah. So that's why I finally switched to bubblers. I'm like, let's be a little healthier. Let's look at our finances, which gets us back onto our topic of the day. I think we have a topic.
Hmm.
Um, or we're just going to chuck that out the window with our sanity. But
Hmm.
so I switched to bubblers.
Well, good
But
for you.
thanks.
Well, let's get back to the important stuff and the reason that this podcast exists anyway. We all know May is Mental Health Month, but within this month, there are several other what we'll call awareness weeks and awareness days. And I don't know why I'm putting quotations because that literally is what they're called, but
Hmm.
whatever. So, May 9th was Children's Mental Health Awareness Day. In one of our earlier episodes, we touched on children and mental health, during which Tori provided statistics, helpful resources, and her own experience in relation to children and mental health. And according to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Association, also known as the SAMHSA, children and young people are experiencing an unprecedented mental health crisis. An estimated 1 in 5 youth has a diagnosable mental, emotional, or behavioral disorder, yet many do not receive the help that they need. These mental health challenges can significantly impact their ability to learn and develop. In the last 3 years, the SAMHSA has invested over 1.5 million in youth mental health programs that are focused on promoting wellness, the prevention, treatment, and recovery of mental health and substance use from early childhood to young adulthood. Tori and I have already put a major emphasis on the fact that proper diagnosis and treatment in children and youth can prevent adults from years of misdiagnosis and mistreatment. In turn, little by little, this could help us get our head above water in this mental health crisis. Tori, you gave a lot of great insight and shed a light on a lot of resources parents already do have at their fingertips. If you want to briefly touch on those things as well.
Of course. As you know, NAMI is one of my favorites. Though that resource is in our link tree, but I did find a couple of more for our listeners today. So we will link out to all of these in our link tree. But another one that I really like is the Administration for Children and Families. Their website has a treasure trove of resources for children and parents alike. So if you need help with your child's mental health and things for them to look at, it has that. And how to deal with your child's mental health, it has those resources as well. But another one, and one of my absolute favorites, is the great organization, Sesame Workshop. So yes, that's exactly what you think it is, Sesame Street, okay? I love Sesame Street. I will die on that hill of Sesame Street. Is amazing. But this website has information for children with autism and their families. It has information on tough topics such as divorce, traumatic experiences, foster care, incarceration, and more. They also have courses and webinars as well for parents and children. And to fit in with our topic today, they have information on financial education, but for children, so that children can understand a sense of how to use finances, what finances are for, and it can get them started on an early journey of understanding how being financially inept is a good thing. And additionally, they have a wealth of information on the healthy minds and bodies of children. They even have games and storybooks available for download and playing on their website. And it's all Sesame Street themed, as I said, which I love.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing those resources. That's the fact that you found the financial, how children can learn financially and the impact and how to get ahead of it is wonderful, because we truly need those resources in this day and age.
Yes. Yes, we do.
National Prevention Week is from May 12th, so starting today, the day that we are filming, to May 18th. National Prevention Week is sponsored by the SAMHSA and provides a public platform showcasing the work of communities and organizations across the country dedicated to raising awareness about the importance of substance use prevention and positive mental health. The tagline for National Prevention Week is a celebration of possibility, which is about communities coming together to celebrate the possibilities and brighter futures that exist thanks to the ongoing work of prevention happening across the country. Creating possibilities and brighter futures start with the community, which includes all of us. There are many ways you can get involved in National Prevention Week. To learn more about National Prevention Week and participation, visit samhsa.gov/prevention-week. In preparation for National Prevention Week, the SAMHSA has released a lot of harm reduction resources, services, and educational information in relation to substance use and overdose, the substance use and overdose epidemic. I would love to dive deeper into the importance of this, but I truly believe in the importance of everyone checking out the facts and finding the easily accessible resources individually and learning how to play their part in harm reduction. The direct link to that page that lays out all of the information and resources is available on our link tree on the podcast website. And speaking of substance use and overdose the substance use and overdose epidemic, we will have a guest joining us for episode 8 to share their story about their battles with substance use, addiction, relapse, and recovery. This will be our first guest making an appearance on film. And today, May 12th, we celebrate Mother's Day. According to the Trustee Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, maternal health is a recognized public health crisis in the United States. Addressing the maternal mental health and substance use crisis is a national priority with government agencies like the SAMHSA and the CDC. In 2003, the Department of Health and Human Services launched the Maternal Mental Health Task Force, which consists of a group of federal and non-federal experts seeking to identify ways to reduce barriers to care for pregnant and parenting individuals with mental health conditions, treatment and prevention initiatives for addressing the maternal mental health, substance misuse, and substance abuse disorder crisis are limited. There are numerous barriers, including stigma, lack of training, siloed healthcare and social services systems, and a dearth of relevant research. Each of these factors and many others intersect and interact. As a result, these health conditions and their consequences are not treated, nor are they prevented. Tori and I have also discussed this issue in an early episode. The SAMHSA provides the Health Resources and Service Administration's National Maternal Mental Health Hotline, which offers free and confidential mental health support 24/7 for individuals and their families before, during, and after pregnancy. This hotline number that is available to call or text 24/7 is 1-833-TLC MAMA, and that's MAMA. This is also listed on our resources link tree on our podcast website, of course.
I cannot agree enough that maternal mental health is declining and resources cannot keep up with the needs that mothers have. What I can say as a mother is to lean on your fellow moms and help each other out because life is hard and being a mom is hard too. Your mom friend is struggling and so are you. Have a glass of wine, talk about how much you want to fight your kids while simultaneously loving them and never letting anyone lay a hand on them. It is very therapeutic, but also check out those resources that we have linked.
And finally, maybe we're circling back around to what was originally the topic of discussion for this episode. Here are some national resources to assist with finances during times of struggle, which those of us struggling with mental illnesses might encounter much more often than we care to admit. Call 211 or visit 211.org to get help paying bills, finding food, and locating resources near you, including mental health resources. United Way Worldwide provides resources to help pay bills, including selling items online, holding a yard sale, and reaching out to local church or charity organizations. Government programs may be able to help pay utility bills, including Low-Income Energy Assistance Program, also known as LIHEAP, the Lifeline Program, and the Weatherization Assistance Program. The Salvation Army provides rent and mortgage relief and connects people with local housing resources. And Nicor Gas offers a budget plan that allows customers to pay a consistent amount each month for a year to help offset those higher bills, especially during periods of winter. Again, links to all these resources discussed in this episode are listed on our Linktree document under the resources tab of our podcast website. I know this is easier said than done, but never feel ashamed to inquire and utilize these resources in your time of need. Even if you feel like you won't qualify for assistance for whatever reason, it does not hurt to try. These resources only exist because there are people that are struggling to find relief during those times where you feel like you can't keep your head above water. And with all of that, I'm going to let Tori take it from here to share further information and conclude with an announcement we have for our viewers and listeners.
So I do just want to add a little tidbit of information that anybody is also welcome to go to their local health department where they have a wealth of information on any type of resources you may need. So if you don't have the capabilities to check out the Linktree or anything like that, or you don't want to, maybe you don't want a partner to see different links that you are accessing on your devices, your local health department will always have information as well for you. But I do have some exciting news. Kind of. Our next episode will air May 30th to close out this wonderful spring season of mental health. This will be the final episode for season 1 of Trigger Warning Podcast. And I know you will miss us, and we will miss all of you too, but we also have mental health to take care of. And we feel that breaks are best and will keep us ready to tackle the hard subjects and relay the best dark jokes for our listeners. We are going to take time to live, laugh, and not participate in any toaster baths. Just for you all, um, our episode to kick off season 2 will be on July 18th. During this time, we encourage you to check out all of our resources and take in as much vitamin D as you can. Go for a hike, take a trip, cuss out your neighbor, grill some burgers, shoot off some fireworks, and jump into a pool without any electrical equipment attached. Live your best life.
Thank you, Tori. Yes, and we will not be going completely remote silent during this time. I'm going to be working on editing. We're going to be working on new episode ideas, guests, and strategies, editing strategies, possibly testing some new platforms. And I will be coming at you with a lot of different marketing things for we'll still be continuing with our partnership during the break. That will not end with Aware Causes. And also, I plan on going through our last couple or all of our episodes from the season, clipping some of our best highlights, and also probably creating a couple other blooper episodes. So we'll still be here, but we won't be here for our regular scheduled programming. And with that, we are ending this episode today. If you've survived another day at war with your brain, you are superior, and we are wishing you nothing but peace in your soul, your mind, and another day of surviving until you can find your way of living.
And we will see all of you lunatics in 2 weeks on Trigger Warning Podcast.